Alright. I'm just doing stuff and seeing if it records, so I guess I'm making yet another test recording. We'll see how this goes. Close my door. Because the washing machine's going. It's been so long since I've gotten back into it that I just built up a mental block to doing stuff. Even though I enjoy the stuff that I'm doing. I'm pressing space! Space, my worst nemesis. Let's see if I can get a rocket spear. And we'll play just sort of the end of the game.
The elevator to the lifeboat is flooded, Father. We have to equalize the pressure in here or the door won't...
You were saying?
We've done it, Father.
Yep.
We're launching. Get to the elevator.
Okay, so I'm going to see if it'll play all of these frames just fine. I think the modeling is really interesting. There are a lot of aspects of this game I didn't really get to, fully absorb. So I was busy, not being shot at. So I've watched the endings, multiple endings of the game. Gotta say that the, sort of medium level, where you're left, reflecting at the water with Eleanor, feels like it's much more tonally, it's... the way to achieve it feels at odds with how I would want to play the game, but I feel like it's the most narratively satisfying ending. I think the ending wrap-up scene's a little too... wrapped up in a bow, like, oh, you were a good person. You've proved to me that people can be good, and I must save everyone. And I'm not saying I advocate for, you know, death of anyone who's ever wronged someone, but Lamb is not a morally gray figure. Her actions are very hard to justify as anything other than kidnapping children and turning them into monsters and abusing her own child for the sake of some bizarre ideal that doesn't truly help anyone. It's got the warped intention there, but there's nothing specific to it. Like, it's not based on rational principles. And there's no proof of any efficacy of it. Of what Lamb is trying to do there, so the fact that Eleanor just blindly saves people, I feel like I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the characters. There's a lot more character development and interest. It's a better game. It's a lot more fun to play and more engaging. But I feel like as far as the Bioshock games I've played, Bioshock 2 is a lot more of a confused message. It doesn't need to leave me with a clear moral, but something that it's heading towards, like a main story theme. It just doesn't feel like the... I'm not sure if it's even supposed to be a religious critique, a false religion critique of cults and cult culture, but it never really shows the impact as far as I'm aware. Maybe after some, you know, critical thinking and good arguments, I could definitely be swayed to see it a different way. But it certainly feels to me that it didn't show the impact on her followers. you had Grace Holloway, but it feels like something is missing, in a way that the original Bioshock was a critique of Ayn Rand. I feel like it did that effectively. The main criticism of the game and its points is that it misses that Andrew Ryan is not the perfect shining star example, because he's a hypocrite in his own ideology. But I feel like with an ideology like that, it's very much, it falls apart under its own weight anyway. And my wailing cat is trying to get in. But I think Bioshock 1 did a better core message. It knew what it was critiquing. And then, I mean, of course it relies quite a lot on its visuals, because this, like, Art Deco, steampunk, aquatic setting is just, you know, so iconic and done so masterfully, like, all the little details, and it carries on into this game. It could probably even dull a bit because, you know, for the second game it's a reused idea, but I don't think it does. I think they continue to really incorporate it. I mean, look at all of this. It's masterfully visually done. I think the gameplay feels a little strange. Not the gameplay, but the mindset of playing such a big, sort of tanky character, but also having the splicers. You know, I'd have trouble fighting even just one sometimes, and maybe that speaks, you know, maybe the direct critique of that is a skill issue. But, it feels like you can get, without even being swarmed, overwhelmed by one splicer. If they're at, you know, an odd angle or they get a hit on you. And I feel like the initial Big Daddy characters felt intimidating in the first game, but you still feel as soft and vulnerable in this one as you do a random human character. So I would have liked to have seen a bit of a difference in challenges you face and new ways to access the world around you via playing as basically an armored tank character. I would have liked to have seen, you know, as Jack, you get to kind of weasel your way through things and have to go around big obstacles and feel more vulnerable and speedy. I would have liked if you felt sort of slower but more capable and like crashed through a lot more things. I feel like the drill breaking dashing implement wasn't fully, or aspect wasn't fully implemented to its best potential. And this may sound like a lot of criticism of the game, but I did genuinely really enjoy the game. I think it's a good game that gets a bit confused with its ultimate message. And from what I've heard of Bioshock Infinite, that's going to be a critique carrying on potentially into bad game territory, but we shall see. Because I find I have fun playing even bad games. They may be horrifically frustrating, but I find any sort of learning experience, I think, ends up being an interesting learning experience, regardless of personal pain. And sometimes it's just fun to be a hater, so we shall see. Alright, that's my review of Bioshock 2 in sort of a lengthy pacing, testing my audio sort of way. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along with me. If you're, I'd say, an old viewer, but I've only been making videos for a short time, or consistently making them, even though I had planned to since, I think, 2013, which I'm glad I didn't achieve because I was a child, and that would have been, I don't think I was a fully formed person yet. I'm still not, but I've got a good basis. I'm just rambling. Thanks for being here.